Right. Hello, everyone, and happy Monday morning. Yeah, you make it as good of a day as you can. Anyway, here we are once again with stars and standings uh, for Monday, February 10th. Now, I just want to say, going into this, I know that there's not as many views with these stars and standings videos as there are with the game recaps. And a couple people have even said, yeah, you're not getting many hits with this. Why do you keep doing it? Well, it's there for people who want to see it. Um, I like to recap everything at the end of the week. I love to give acknowledgement to the players who had a phenomenal week. Um, yeah, okay, and don't get as many likes, but that's okay. Or as many views, I'm okay with that. I try to keep things simple, doing things a little different the last couple of weeks with the team graphics here, with the team magnets, and just boiling it down to the nitty gritty. When you look at the standings on the Fed webpage, it can be very confusing with this column for overtime losses and this column for shootout wins and game goal differentials and this and that and the other. It's a whole lot of numbers, so I try to make it as simple as possible. I am adding a couple things from last week on this, and we'll just talk about this as we go through. All right, let's start with the Empire Division. Things are a little more clear, I guess you could say, in the Empire than they are in the Continental. Although there's some interesting storylines or potential storylines developing here. So I want to go through this. So Binghamton, 92 points. They're far and away above everyone else right now. In green, I have two numbers there. 10 is the number for their magic number for officially clinching a playoff spot. All right. Right now, the most points that HC Venom can get is 102. So to clinch a playoff spot, it's 10. To clinch a division title is 33. All right. So I had those two numbers there. And that's 11 wins, 11 regulation wins, 19 games left to play. Very doable. So I'm throwing that out there now, kind of a countdown. And we'll talk about the other green numbers on this board as well. Now, Danbury, they've really been on a heater lately. Their winning streak is only 6 games, but they have just been phenomenal the last 15 games now. Got off to a very slow start, struggled early, and they're really coming on right now. And they're sitting there in second place. They will automatically still be in second place at the end of Friday, regardless of who does what, who wins, who loses. Danbury will still be in second place. That could change by the end of the weekend, but right now we have only 5 points separating Danbury and Watertown. So, very close race right now with those three teams. And Port Huron, they struggled this last weekend, went up against Carolina. That's a tough opponent. And so they didn't have a whole lot of success, but Watertown and Danbury did. So these three are kind of swapping positions back and forth right now. Makes for a very interesting playoff race. I think it's safe to say, most likely, Binghamton's going to be the number one seed out of the Empire. But who gets that second seed where you have the extra home game in the first round? That could be really, really big. And so this is going to be very interesting watching these three teams kind of jockey for position from here on out. Now, Motor City, they lost both of their games this last weekend, but they still have a 13-point edge over HC Venom. So, they've kind of got that spot locked down for now. But 13 points, okay, that's 4 regulation wins and another point. So it's not out of the realm of possibility for the Venom to get into this playoff mix if they can figure things out. Um, they've been struggling mightily lately, but I forgot to write down their streak. They're at 8 games in a row now. So that kind of hurts. The Dashers, 38. That's their elimination number. Any combination of 38 points gained by Motor City or lost by the Dashers, and the Dashers are officially eliminated. Same goes for Mississippi. We're putting the horse before the cart a little bit, vice versa. Said that phrase wrong. Putting the cart before the horse. Anyway, yeah. Why is there such a difference? Well, it's because there's not as big of a gap between here and here as there is between there and there. So that's the reason why. All right, so yeah, 30 games in a row now for the Dashers. I hope we see some change soon. I really do. All right, going to the Continental Division. Carolina in control now for a while. This whole division from 1 to 6 was extremely tight. 3 weeks ago, the difference between here and here was 10 points. Now we've got 26. So, yeah, things have really spaced out quite a lot. Don't forget, being that a regulation win is worth 3 points in the Fed, that really can speed up your rise or your fall, depending on which end you are on. So, Carolina, right now, their magic number to clinch a playoff spot is 40. All right, that seems like a lot. But again, I mean, most of these teams have 20 games to go, 40 points. You do the math, that's 13 wins plus 1 point. So, not too bad. Carolina playing very well right now, winners of their last 8 in a row, as is Athens. Now, the big thing is Athens has 5 games in hand on Carolina. So, if they won them all, they could vault themselves into first place. That would put them at 77 points if they won all 5 of those games in hand. So, they're doing all right. So, but again, we have another situation here where Athens, Columbus, Baton Rouge, and Blue Ridge, they're all very closely bunched together, only 5 points separating those teams. And I've been saying it for a couple weeks now. It's like every time these two teams, or like two teams play each other in an intra-divisional game, it's like a playoff game, even now. So, yeah, it's going to be a pretty intense race for there as well. So yeah, don't forget the first 5 teams get the playoff berths. That's why they're in blue. Last 2 teams are in red right now. They're on the outside looking in, but there's time to change that. All right, so the Moccasins sit 7 points out of the playoff spot right now, but yeah, that's not that bad. 2 wins and a point. So that's really not a bad place for them to be. I mean, obviously, I know that Monroe would like to be higher up in the standings, but they're not out of it. Not even close. The only team that does seem to be out of it is Mississippi. Yeah, their elimination number is now 15. Any combination of 15 points gained by Blue Ridge or lost by Mississippi, Mississippi is officially eliminated. They will probably be the first team to be officially eliminated from the playoff picture. And it's just the way it is. So there's your standings. 76 points again for Carolina, and then the lowest point total for any team that's in the playoff spot right now is Motor City with 37. Binghamton, of course, 92. So there we go with that. All right, let us move on to Stars of the Week. And I picked 6, and I had to give a special shout out to 2. So I put them in red, kind of honorable mention. But yeah, here we go. So Gleb Van Durken for the Danbury hat tricks. 3 goals and 2 assists over the course of the 2 games against the Dashers this last weekend. Very good weekend for him. Anton Borodkin for Watertown. Watertown just had the 1 game against HC Venom, and for a while it was looking pretty shaky. Venom were up 2-0, and Watertown ended up coming back. Borodkin saves 45 of 47, makes some really big saves when he really had to. That's a 957 save percentage. And being that the game went in overtime, he gave up the 2 goals, but the extra minutes chipped that goals against average down to 1.93. And of course, he gets the win. So I thought this was one of the better goalie performances of the weekend. All right. Hunter, Hunter Godmere. Welcome to the Fed. Wow. Quite the debut for the Swede as he joins the Blue Ridge Bobcats and really adds a lot of offensive punch. They needed this. They desperately needed this. And get some depth in their lineup, because the last few weeks it's been the Devin Sanders and Nick McHugh show. And if you shut those 2 down, well, then you're going to be in trouble. But now you've got Godmere as well. He has a hat trick the one night, 4 goals overall, and 3 assists as well for the Bobcats. Great debut for Hunter Godmere. All right, Justin McDonald, he is back. We've been waiting for him to have a weekend like this all year round. And I know he's been battling injuries. He hasn't been 100% this year. But man, this last weekend, he just went off. Biggest point total of anyone in the league for this weekend: 4 goals, 5 assists, 9 points for the River Dragon captain. Not captain, but he's an assistant captain. And of course, assistant coach as well. All right, so who else do we have? We have Daniel Martin from the Blue Ridge Bobcats. A goal and 5 helpers. People are thinking, oh, he only had 1 goal. Yeah, but those 5 helpers were huge. And several of them, he had 2 really big key assists in the Friday matchup that was somewhat close. So very good clutch performance by Daniel Martin this weekend. And then we had Kyle Moore from the River Dragons. He has himself a hat trick, 4 goals overall, and 4 assists as well for the River Dragons. So yeah, the River Dragons, they got lots of points this weekend. Good performance there. I wanted to give a shout out to these 2 guys. Hunter Verostic, he came within just about 3 minutes short of a shutout on Saturday. A lot of people said I jinxed it because I said the S word in the chat. But nonetheless, he had an excellent weekend. He goes 68 saves out of 72 shots, 2 wins, 944 save percentage, and a 2.00 goals against. Verostic is having a great season. He's now got 17 wins, which is second in the league right now. Fantastic performance by Verostic. And then this was the performance that really caught a lot of people's eyes. If you didn't see this game, boy, did you miss out. What a debut. Here's a guy who was a practice goalie for HC Venom all year round and hadn't gotten an opportunity to get in the lineup until this last weekend. John Moriarty's out on the 15-day DL. So Rahul Sharma gets the opportunity to start, and man, did he put on a show. He was solid. He didn't look nervous at all. He looked very calm, very poised. He got crashed into a lot. He didn't care. He just kept making saves. And it was just some defensive turnovers deep in the zone that was kind of the undoing for the Venom late in the game that gave the Wolves the win. But yeah, first performance in the Fed, and he saves 58 shots. Fantastic performance. So yeah, he has a goals against a 283 because it was a 3-goal game for Watertown, but that went in overtime. So 283 on the goals against, 951 save percentage. I am looking forward to seeing what he can do because he looked like he'd been doing this his whole life in that game on Friday. Fantastic performance. So I wanted to give Rahul Sharma a shout out. Welcome to the Fed. It was great seeing that. So there you go. That is our stars of the week. That is stars and standings. Busy week up ahead. We've got games on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Lots of games. So things are going to be a little bit compressed on our audio shows, the Flash Audio Network. So avail yourself to the schedule that I posted for the week on Facebook. Everything's listed as far as what I'm going to be doing. Next time I'll talk to you will be tomorrow on news and notes on the Flash Audio Network. I will have a link to the podcast on the Facebook page. No matter what platform you listen to, you're gonna want to listen to it. It's gonna be a very intriguing show. I can promise you that. And talk about a lot of interesting things, including further expansion. So tune in for that. All right. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate all you guys tuning in, watching, whether you're watching here on YouTube, whether you're tuning in to Facebook or on the Flash Audio Network. I appreciate it. It's 2,900 strong now. Thank you so much. All right, I am Gary Ryan for the Fed League Flash. I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead, and we'll talk to you tomorrow for news and notes.